A big hello to the Pleasantville community. I'm Tina Desai, your Superintendent of Schools, and
John Chow, the Assistant Superintendent for Business.
Today we're going to present you with a budget overview for the 23-24 school year. As with everything that we do, we ground our work in our school district mission. Our mission calls us to have students that are lifelong learners, dynamic thinkers, and compassionate contributing citizens. Our mission also defines the learning environment that we want our students to be in. It calls for us to provide for academic programs that allow for a rich, differentiated experience for our students. It also asks us to provide a safe and supportive learning environment, and it also asks us to allow our students to explore their individual passions. In addition to the mission, we also ground our work in our current strategic plan. Our current strategic plan is based on 6 strategies. The strategies include leadership, curriculum, wellness, communication, infrastructure and resources, and partnerships. And as I said, our budget reflects our priorities and our commitment to both our mission and our strategic plan. This year's 23-24 proposed budget is a $59 million budget, and it represents a 2.79 increase from our budget from last year. The allowable tax cap is 2.44%, and we built this budget to come in at 2.43%, which is just below the tax cap.
So I'll talk about the budget expenditures for this coming year that we're proposing. And for salary, you see an increase of 1.92%. That represents our obligation to the bargaining units. And then also employee benefits, you see a very large increase of over $1 million. That is because starting from January 1 until the end of this calendar year, we see an increase of 14.5% increase in our insurance premium. And then also, we see a large increase in our utility and fuel bill, and you see an increase of 42.3%. I think, a lot of the taxpayers, you experience that as well. And then also, in the debt service, you see an increase of $90,000. That is our principal and interest payment for the debt service that we are taking for the middle school HVAC project that was approved last year. And then I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Desai.
Sure. Another area where we see a large increase in our budget for 23-24, is in our contractual. So we have 2 areas where we are investing. One of them is in special education and making sure that our students have programs that support their learning needs. And the second is in our technology. As you all know, when COVID came and we all went to a 1-to-1 device to student ratio, we need to continue to expand our ability to support our students and ensure that they're in a learning environment that is safe, that they have tools that are working and in good condition. So those are 2 areas where we have contractual investments in the 23-24 budget. Another interesting piece about our 23-24 budget is in our interfund transfer. As Mr. Chow talked about before, last year, we made the investment and moved monies into our budget for 22-23 in order to be able to support a portion of the middle school HVAC project. We don't have that this year, so it's an interesting number to look at with an almost $2 million decrease on the interfund transfer. So that is why that looks like that. Next, you can see that our budget really supports 4 main pillars. We're able to maintain our class size, maintain and improve programming for our students, allow for the infrastructure, as I talked about before in the mission, to provide a safe environment for students to learn in. And we're also meeting, as Mr. Chow said, all of our contractual obligations with increases in all of our contracts for our employees. So again, this budget allows us to provide a safe and supportive learning environment for our students. It includes all the necessary personnel, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and it also allows us to continue to strengthen and update our technology infrastructure and instructional services through technology that we deliver. Plus a bonus, as we said before, it is below the tax cap. So you can see that we have some personnel additions for the 23-24 school year. First, we're adding 2 teaching assistants in the Bedford Road School. And the second 2 are kind of interesting. We're adding an SEL, the K-12 SEL counselor, and we're also adding a school psychologist. Now, in terms of adding, they're not different people. They are positions that were previously supported with our COVID grant monies, our federal COVID grant monies. So those are ending at the end of this school year, and of course we want to continue to support our students and maintain the quality of program and services that we have. So we are adding these 2 positions into our general fund from our grant monies.
So I'll go over the budget revenue for the next school year. And for the largest piece of the revenue source is real property taxes, which represent about 70% of our total revenue. And we'll see an increase of 2.43%. As the superintendent mentioned earlier, this is below the tax cap. And then also we see a very large increase in the state and federal sources. This is because we are going to get over $2 million of funding from for the foundation aid. And then earlier the superintendent mentioned that the appropriation of fund balance, there's a reduction of $2.3 million. And then we see an increase of charges for services, and that is because we are expecting to have more tuition paying students. And that makes up the total budget increase of 2.79%.
Thank you. So our road show is almost coming to a close. We have been doing presentations during our board meetings since January with a preview that led to a proposed budget, our 3 buildings along with special education and technology presented, and then we moved on to have our athletics and our non-instructional budget presentation. We also had a budget forum for the community. And we recently had the board adopt our current budget. Just as a side note, all of these video presentations are on our website. If you go to departments and you go to the business office, you will see a budget tab on the right-hand side, and you can watch all of these presentations that are here. Our next one is that we will have a public hearing that we invite you to on May 2nd. And lastly, the big day, May 16th. We encourage you all to come out to the budget and vote on May 16th. We'll be at the middle school in the multi-purpose room from 6:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all and hope to see you again on May 16th.
Thank you.